In this video, we're going to take a realistic look in the mirror at the Chiefs' performance against the Denver Broncos, look at the mistakes, what went wrong, and then evaluate the Chiefs' overall level of concern for their upcoming postseason run. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs. So make sure to like, sub, smile, and enjoy the vid if you can, considering this is largely going to be a not so positive video about the Chiefs, just a realistic look at where things are, at least following the win over the Broncos, the, unsatisfying win over the Broncos, we shall say. But first for the good, because in yesterday's video, I covered the good of the Chiefs offense for the most part, and there are some good spots on the Chiefs defense for sure. Cannot overlook that. The Chiefs defense had 26 pressures on the day. That's right. Chris Jones, Mike Dana, Frank Clark, and furious George Karlaftis all had 4 each, so they contributed to 16 of those pressures, and the Chiefs defense got to Russell Wilson 6 times, tying a season high for Wilson and the Broncos. 6 sacks, good God almighty. Thornhill had 1, Dana had 1, Karlaftis, Frank Clark, the newly signed defensive tackle, Brandon Williams had a half sack, as well as linebacker Darius Harris. The Chiefs also had 2 interceptions in this game, which I believe is the most interceptions they've had in a single game all season. One of them was late in the game, thanks to Chris Jones for disrupting Brett Rippon's throw. And then earlier in the game, linebacker Willie made a highlight reel play, tipping up a pass from Russell Wilson, intercepting his own tipped ball, then stiff-arming Russell Wilson to the ground on his way to the end zone. An absolutely fantastic play that much rivaled Mahomes' wild no-look TD pass to McKinnon on the other side of the ball earlier in the game. This will definitely, hands down, go down as a highlight reel type of play for the rest of Willie Gay's career. It was a phenomenally athletic play by the man himself, and when asked about that play post-game, here's what Willie Gay Jr. had to say about it.
It was really a blitz, and I realized what kind of play it was. They was just trying to, bring me down so they can get it over my head. So I wasn't going to blitz to the quarterback. I was going to try to get my hand up, and that's what I did. And luckily, it came right to me once I knocked it down. So after that, I just knew I had to make Russ miss, and the rest was to the end zone.
So hats off to Willie here, because without that pick six, I'm scared a little bit to think about what the outcome of this game may have been. It's also worth noting that technically, not even technically, this is legit. The Broncos offense outscored the Chiefs offense. That's right. Absolutely ludicrous to even think about, but this part of the video is supposed to be my positive part, so I'm going to shelve it for a second. Let's talk batted down passes for a moment, because outside of Willie Gay's tipped pass for a pick six interception, Karlaftis and Snead also had a pass that they batted down as well. Those are some nice positives, I guess you could say, and on the season, this has been a plus for the Chiefs defense overall. Karlaftis has 6 batted down passes, Dunlap 4, Willie Gay 3, Chris Jones 3, Snead 2, and a few others have 1. So hey, good job. Seriously though, this is a definite positive about the Chiefs defense, and worth noting they're also 4th overall in total sacks with 42 on the season, and I think last year total on the season they had 31, so already 11 more. Not bad. Now, speaking of the word bad, let's just go there, because there are plenty of things to discuss. Russell Wilson is on pace for the worst season of his entire career, and for context, just 2 seasons ago, he threw for 4,200 yards, 40 TDs, and 13 interceptions, but this year, this man is on pace to throw maybe 15 touchdowns by season's end, and he's just playing very not good football overall until, drumroll, he played the Chiefs, that is. He's never thrown 3 TDs in a single game all season. Well, he did that. And to demonstrate how big of a deal that is, coming into this game, Russell Wilson had only thrown 3 TDs total in the last 5 games that he's played, which is an average of roughly half a touchdown a game. The Broncos' average points per game is 13.8 and are the worst in the league at getting points up on the board, and prior to this game, have never been able to score more than 23 points in a game. Well, against the Chiefs, they scored 3 touchdowns in a row within 3 minutes and 32 seconds of game time, putting up 21 points in a matter of minutes and finishing with 28 points total, a season high. Wilson also has never thrown for 300 yards in a game this season outside of week 1 against the Seahawks. And I promise you, he was about to do that in this game until he got hurt and Brett Rippon had to come in. And prior to this game, Wilson never rushed for more than 29 yards, but in this game against the Chiefs, he rushed for 57. The Broncos are one of the worst red zone teams in the entire NFL, 30th in the league converting a red zone drive when they can even make it there into a touchdown only 44% of the time. Yet against the Chiefs defense, they were perfect. 3 for 3, 100%. The Broncos are 29th in the league in first downs, yet only had 4 less first downs than the Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs had 20, Broncos had 16. They are horrible on third down. The worst in the league, converting only 28% of their third downs on average, and against the Chiefs were 35% on third down. So to the Chiefs' credit, they did decent there. They were only slightly above average in that category. From here, let's talk drives. If you look at the first 4 Chiefs drives on Sunday, they were field goal, touchdown, touchdown. So that's great. And then if you look at the Broncos' first drives, they were as follows: punt, 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 Willie Gay pick 6, punt. So fan-freaking-tastic. The Chiefs were up 27-0. The crowd was once again raining boos down to Russell Wilson and company per usual, and it looked like it was going to be an absolute slaughter, a bloodbath, if you want me to be graphic with it. But then enters in the plot twist at roughly 4 minutes left in the second quarter, where the Broncos turned 2 Chiefs interceptions into touchdowns, then scored a TD on the opening drive of the second half when a poorly timed blitz by Spags allowed a 66-yard screen pass to Marlon Mack go for 6. And just like that, the Broncos scored 21 unanswered points in 3 minutes and 32 seconds of game time. The worst offense in the NFL scored 21 points in 3 minutes and 32 seconds of game time on the Chiefs. Yeah, I get it. Mahomes threw 2 picks in that span, and he needs to be held accountable for those. 1,000%, he's owned up to that and admitted it publicly. They weren't good. Surtain made a good play. Old Jewel made a good play as well. One of them was just absolutely horrible. Bad choice by Mahomes. But the defense also needs to be held accountable here. It's unacceptable to give up that many chunk plays. The huge screen pass for a TD. Then to allow Denver to go perfect in the red zone when they are god-awful in the red zone and also are without one of their best receiving threats in Courtland Sutton. Get this. They allowed the offense of Denver to outscore the offense of the Chiefs. That's freaking insane. I saw online from a buddy of mine that the blame for the close score is only on Mahomes and Mahomes alone. Mahomes alone should be a Christmas movie. Random side note, off script. The reason why he said that is because of those interceptions. Well, if that's the case, then I'm putting the majority of the Chiefs' wins, close or not, only on the shoulders of Patrick Mahomes for bailing out this team on repeat. Okay, just joking, but it's a team sport, man. Win or loss, whether Patrick Mahomes has an off day, the defense has to step up. It's a freaking team sport. Just the Broncos on offense specifically, they suck. And they did whatever they wanted for a period of time to the Chiefs' defense, man. It's concerning. I may also give some credit to them, the defense that is, being dog-tired, playing a mile high up in the sky in elevation and not getting any rest because of those interceptions being thrown. So we'll take that into consideration a little bit. And to their credit, they played well before that bad span and after that bad span for the most part, and did indeed help get this W, because after those 3 TD drives by Denver, it looked like this for the Broncos. Punt, punt, touchdown, punt, interception. Chris Jones coming in clutch on that last INT with Snead coming down with the ball, which was nice. Yes. On the flip side, though, for the Chiefs offense, after the first 4 drives of the game ended in scores, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, they then looked like this. Interception, interception, into half via a kneel down, punt, punt, touchdown, which was good, but then punt, interception, and finally the end of game drive. So out of the Chiefs' 7 remaining drives in the game, if you remove the halftime, kneel down, and end of game drive, the Chiefs offense averaged 1 point per drive. Yes, 1 touchdown in 7 drives. However, they did create magic at times, enough magic to win the game, thankfully, on 2 drives. In particular there, that TD drive in the second half with the touchdown pass to Juju in the back of the end zone after Mahomes did a loop-de-loop was some straight-up voodoo-type magic. And then their ending drive was glorious with MVS catching a 20-yard pass on like a 3rd and 11. Then McKinnon had at least 1 clutch rushing first down play, and Pacheco did as well, rushing for a solid 10 yards, breaking multiple tackles, and moving the chains one more time, thus ending the game, stamping a W on the Chiefs' record book. But it's not that simple. Yes, at the end of the day, a W is a W, but I will not lie or sugarcoat things here. I am concerned a little bit, guys, about the Chiefs secondary and specifically the Chiefs red zone defense when it comes to their upcoming playoff run. Mahomes is nearly Superman, yes, but the Chiefs defense has to create more turnovers and stop teams in the red zone more often, because right now, they are giving up a touchdown to opponents on 68.18% of their red zone trips, and that is literally dead last in the entire league. Spags, you got to get it together, man. Please and freaking thank you. I know the defense is young, the second youngest in the NFL, I believe, if you average out the players' ages, and Spags has several new veterans in there as well. So you got to combine all that together when you look at it big picture. But God, if you want a serious shot in the playoffs for another deep run, they have roughly 4-ish weeks to get things figured out. Denver is not a playoff team. In fact, the Chiefs' win over them on Sunday literally eliminated them from the possibility of making the playoffs mathematically, yet the Chiefs barely won that game. And the last thing on the defense is this. Secondary is very young, yes, but they're struggling. I'll make a video on that here soon because it needs more time than what I have for this video. But Juan Thornhill, he's having a rather rough season, looking back at all of his grades from game 1 till now. And Justin Reed has some good aspects, his pass coverage in particular, but has struggled quite a bit in tackling. It's a pretty bad grade. Brian Cook is doing well, but again, he's young, still learning. And when you combine a safety room that struggles to make splash plays to help out these young cornerbacks, it only adds fuel to the fire that's already burning in the secondary. Trent McDuffie is great, but man, he struggled at times against the Broncos. Had a big PI call that was a bit soft, I know, but then blew coverage in the red zone, allowing a wide open touchdown. The only credit I'll give to McDuffie here when it comes to those mistakes is he is a rookie, but he also spent like 8 weeks on IR and is still learning here in the tail end of the season. I expect him to get better from here, but still, man, this stuff has to get figured out and figured out quickly. And then on the offensive side of the ball, let's talk about it. I mentioned Mahomes is Superman. And the reason why I mentioned that is because they rely on him a bit too much to bail them out of games with his Superman-like powers when the game is on the line. But dude, they got to stop the turnovers, man. They've had at least 1 turnover in 8 straight games and have struggled in the red zone since Mecole Hardman has gone on IR. The good news here, though, at least when it comes to Mecole Hardman and Kadarius Toney, they should both be healthy for the postseason. And if that's the case, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for teams to defend Mecole Hardman, Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce. You got Jerick McKinnon catching passes out of the backfield on top of Isaiah Pacheco running the ball down their throats. If Andy Reid runs the ball, that is, this offense has to fire on all cylinders if they want to do well in the postseason, because I'm just going to assume that any team they play is going to put up hella points on the Chiefs defense at this point until they prove me otherwise. And Patrick Mahomes and company are going to have to put up at least 30 points if they want to get a dub. And with all that being said, you guys got to let me know your biggest level concern from the Chiefs in the game against Denver, but then also let me know your biggest level concern of what needs to be fixed more than anything before the Chiefs make their push into the postseason. So let me know in the comments down below. Like and sub if you haven't already. Check out this YouTube short of Mecole Hardman and his return. It's going to be epic. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?